actually watching her stream back at the moment. Kind of curious. She's awesome, though. She's pretty awesome. It's always the world, isn't it? Does that work? Yeah, it did. Okay, no, that's right. Those strings work fine. That's alright, that's connected. That's yay, it's connected. Woohoo. Well, you know what? I'm going to be streaming for a few hours anyway, so if anybody's got any tech questions, please feel free to throw them at me as much as you like. I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to give people some advice as well. Happy to help out as much as I possibly can. You know what? I'm a good guy that way. Always have been. Let me see. What the... YouTube. Jesus. Fried brain potatoes. It's all good. What? I don't even know what the fuck is wrong with that. What am I on about? I don't know. It's weird. You know what? Whatever. It works. That just works for me, you know. So let me just switch to music, because I was on the music. Gotta get on the right wavelength, people. It's about the wavelength. Gotta know what wavelength you're on. Random people on my friend list. It's always random people adding me on Facebook. It kind of, some of it kind of annoys me, some of it doesn't. Some of it's okay, and I'm like, yeah, that'll be alright, that's fine. And then it's just like, by people randomly add me. And it's like, well, where the hell did you come from, motherfucker? Not that I mind adding random people sometimes. This is one of those cases. I got to switch this though. Actually, okay, so let me see. Nice consistency there. That's alright. Hold on a second. So back to what I was doing, right? Which was this. Now, consistency, people. Consistency. Yeah. It's always the way, isn't it? It's always the way. Always the way. Always a consistency. So, let me see. I have to choose another song, but I need to get the right song. It's always getting that right song. Everybody's cheesy in somewhere or another. Alright, so let's see here. So let me go with this half this crap. Okay, hold on a second. Where the fuck am I? Still here, I'm pretty sure. Let's go over the whole beard thing. I don't know. It should be interesting to see exactly how this turns out. Like, I don't know whether people can actually see my... I was like, where's my stream? Where is my stream? There we go. Okay, so as you can see, it's really it's sort of growing in. It's not getting too bad. I'm not going to question it anymore. It looks pretty good. So let me just have a quick squeeze. There we go. See, this is starting to grow in. This is getting there. I'm actually starting to grow a bit of a beard now. over the whole... I don't know. I don't even know what the hell look I'm going for here. It's like, you know, what hermit hippie combo. What you know, that's probably what I'm going for. That's probably totally what I'm going for because, you know, typically that's what happens. But oh, crazy! It's crazy. It's crazily consistent with some of the shit that's happened to me in my life. All right. So anyway, as I said, if people want to throw tech questions at me, they can. That's not a problem. So, alright, so what do I want to do? I want to do a lot of things today. I want to do a number of different things. I'm just not sure what exactly. At this point, fun to the dead, it takes the T-bird away. Anyway, okay, I actually need some music in the background. It's going to be some consistency with music. That's the problem, it's always finding music, isn't it? It's all about finding that right balance to the music that you listen to. Because you've got to find it. That's just the right song. Okay. Try this one, see how we go. It's always about that, so, you know? Weird. It's weird though. I don't know. I said those drivers have probably got mucked up. I know what's happened. The drivers are probably fucked up. It's just the universe having a bit of a joke with me. That's all right. You know what? I expected it. Might as well just draw a big fucking target on my forehead and say, "Here, hit me, baby, one more time." Like, seriously, no. I should just draw a fucking target on my head. Here, hit me. It's like a giant fucking red-ass target. That's what I need. Looking at the cosmos, eh? Whoa. Oh, I'm out of weapons. I need a gun store stop. Rockabye, baby, rockabye. Depends on the music, though. Every music has their different critics. Of course, it's the same song, though. Yeah, this one's kind of just I'm not feeling it. It's not. I did feel it before, but it's just it's sort of consistency. Alright, let's try and skip to the next song. See if the next song it's actually working and showing me a little more. That's the problem, you know. Getting the right consistency. That's the issue. Consistency and being able to find it. Always different choices though. It's always funny, though. I've had plenty of people say the comment to me, it's like, suck it up, Buttercup. It's like, freaking, you know. I don't know where the hell that saying came from, but yeah. Suck it up, Buttercup, or was it, it's like, life doesn't revolve around you, princess, anyway, but yeah. Inconsistencies, oh, that's still funny, though. Just cracks me up. It's always the consistency, people. Be consistent, for fuck's sake. Just saying. Not that fucking hard. Oh shit. A little bit of self-control. Never goes astray. Wasn't a bad day though. Anyway, I did get a few of my questions right on my driving test, so I'm actually doing too bad. I did about an hour's worth of study, or roughly around that today, and I wanted to study the questions and stuff. I'll be probably going in there Saturday most likely, and I'm going to actually see if I can get the test correct. I managed to get 14 questions right, and the second, because I had 2 attempts, so you get 4 attempts in total, but those 2 attempts I used up pretty quick. I shouldn't have been so fast to rush into it, that's the problem. I know that I rushed it a bit, so just have to make sure I read the questions properly and stuff. But it's most stuff when it comes to driving is pretty much common sense, you know. That as long as you're not too stupid about it, and as long as you're a reasonably law-abiding citizen, the police aren't going to come after you for, you know, driving. I've got to say anyway, unless you're, you know, doing a GTA thing, but still. But yeah, I will say that I enjoyed immensely the course. It was good. I found it fascinating actually. Guy was he was a pretty cool instructor too. He was pretty open-minded. Everybody at the course themselves seemed pretty good too. It was really nice. So yeah. I admit though, I was emotional on that day. I'm probably fairly emotional, more emotional than I should have been at the time. And I realise this now. I realise I was emotional. I realise that it came down to that. And, you know, the truth of the situation is that, in all honesty, I don't regret being a bit emotional that day. Because, you know what? You're going to have your emotional days. I mean, it probably doesn't help that my sleeping patterns were a bit off. That doesn't help either. But you know what? My sleeping patterns are fine most of the time. I balance myself pretty well. But the other side of it too is, you know, you got to look into, well, you got to look at it from this perspective. I guess in the long term, if you don't take risks, you don't live your life at all. You know, like any sort of risk, whether it's going out or whether it's doing specific things you want to do. There's, you know, that's my point. I've always prided myself on a good guy with a good character. I've tried to pride myself on that anyway. You know, and I think for a while there's people in my life that actually made me feel like I wasn't a good character, I didn't have a good character. Not just that, there was people in my life that actually made me feel like I wasn't worth the time or the effort to do things for. And to be honest, lately I've been feeling a lot more better with that. It's good. It's gnarly. It's kind of ironic too at the same time. It's a wonderful thing. I love it. I've learned so much though. I've learned so much. Past few days, past few weeks, I've learned a lot about myself, I guess, because I've been examining myself on an internal level, I guess you could say, and I've been trying to see what sort of person I am, and I guess, you know, test myself to a certain extent, see what the best thing is about myself, and yeah. Which, there's nothing wrong with testing yourself. There's nothing wrong with testing the world around you to, you know, give yourself a way to an outlet, because everybody needs an outlet, whether it's games, computer games, or whether it's other things in your life that you use as an outlet. I don't necessarily condone, you know, any type of drug use, but, you know, at the end of it, I mean, I don't know, getting a bit drunk, having a bit of a party sometimes is okay. I don't think it's good to do it all the time because it's inconsistent, you know, it's, well, not inconsistent, but it can cause problems if you're doing it on a constant basis. But it's okay occasionally to have moments where, you go and have a bit of fun. You have a couple of drinks. You don't have to have a massive amount of drinks to have fun. You know, or you might choose some other way of doing that. And you know what? I try not to judge people too much. I get some people do. You know, I mean, for me, anything in my life has always been natural. Anything that I have in my life I've always tried to pertain myself to natural things or nature in the sense of itself. And you know what? That's not a bad thing though. For me, it isn't anyway. I don't think so. Nature is a what's the context? Nature is a fickle mistress. I don't know. See, that's something I don't know whether that actually makes sense. See, for some people that might make sense. For other people, it might be the total opposite. They're just like, what the hell are you going on about, man? You know. But yeah, it's kind of something I just, you know, something I think about. You know what? I can be consistent, not just that, but I can also do what I need to do. But today I had to do that driving test anyway. Run through the driving test questions just to make sure I was getting it correct. Or some of it correct anyway. I don't know whether I actually was getting it correct. I was just going through with the questions, to be honest. It was like 377 questions. Like, wow, that's a lot of fucking questions. You know what? I think I was... Yeah, I'm actually sitting here waiting. That's hilarious. I'm actually sitting here waiting. I don't know, like the way you drive in a game and the way you drive in real life are two different things, but still, whoa. At least 2 car lengths behind. So this is another thing you got to realize too. There is the 2 car length behind thing. Most people don't worry. There's a 3-second gap and there's a 5-second gap in certain situations. I'm just going to go around, even though that's not the right thing you should do in real life. That's something you don't do in real life. You most likely can get booked by the cops in some cases. So yeah. But that's the thing. Whoa. There we go. That's better. All right. But yeah, that is the thing that most people don't realise, that I found from personal experience, is that there's a lot of different inconsistencies. Like, well, I mean, okay, reality and games. Went over the sign. But you know what? There is always there is a difference between reality and games in most cases. Yeah, well, I mean, there's some games that base themselves on like real simulation sort of things, like they try to simulate real life as much as possible. But then there's some games that are just meant to be taken as parody. They're meant to be a game that consistently makes parody or fun of real situations. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with making fun of real situations, as long as you know the difference between the two. It's knowing the difference. If you don't know the difference, that's where the problem comes up, you know. Especially for a lot of people. I mean, if you're a person who has a tendency to not be able to see the difference, that's when the problems tend to crop up. That's mostly where the issues crop up, really. But the key point is to remember there is a difference, you know. And that's the thing. I think the problem we live in a world where we're so enticed by games and the reality, the escape from reality that it offers, that we seem to forget sometimes how much it can affect you in real life sometimes if you're not too careful. Like not actually affect you physically, it can affect your attitude towards things. So most people don't take that into consideration, see? I mean, look, you know, I run around, I blow things up, I do all the destructive stuff, and, you know, in games, but that's games. Games are two different things. Games and real life, two different things. Two different things and always will be two different things. And unfortunately, it's just that, you know, knowing the difference is the main point that I'm trying to make. I've always known the difference between real life and what... That's the reason I am such a well-behaved person. I mean, generally I'd say, you know, we all have those, what's it? Those tendencies to feel a little bit, you know, or just go a bit crazy in games. We all do. I mean, you know what? I think anybody, especially if you're a person who plays GTA or something like that, there's definitely times where in games you can say at least consistently, oops, yeah, that's, well, that probably wasn't a good idea, but still. But yeah, that's my point. You know, that's the thing I think that gets me the most, is that knowing the difference between those two things is definitely something that fundamentally the world should realise. The problem is there's not. Some people don't. Some people get certain things in their head. They get certain aspects, you know. And I mean, look, it's easy to get pissed off as well. Like the instructor there pointed it out to me, and he said, well, you know, it's easy to get pissed off on the road, and it's easy to get the shits. And it's easy to chuck a rage moment, especially at somebody who's been a dickhead on the road and not doing the right thing. And that's the thing, it's easy to get pissed off if you're not careful. It's so easy. It's not just easy, it's fundamentally human nature if you're not too careful. Anyway, no, but I mean, okay. Put it this way: at this point in time, I'm driving GTA, so it's two different things between driving in GTA and in the real world. And knowing the difference is just fundamentally what you have to do these days. What do I do that for? What was I meant to do though? It's like what is GTA? It's a driving simulator. Oh, it's not. I actually have a driving simulator. I should get my steering wheel out one day and actually do a driving simulator. I haven't done a driving simulator for a while. I need to do that and actually get it. I actually need to hook the steering wheel up to my computer. Not just that, I need to hook the steering wheel up to my computer, and I need to bring up my driving simulator, which I have a copy of it on my computer. No, I don't. I do. No, I do. It's in my downloads folder. Pretty sure. And that's the thing. Sorry, I'm sitting. This is hilarious. I'm driving like I'm sort of trying to drive like I'm driving in real life. But anyway, just for the hell of it, you know, just to see if see how we go. It's different though. Most gears are automatic in most cars these days. But anyway, the instructor that I was talking about, he had a point. He did say that there's times where you're going to get angry and you're going to get pissed off, you know, and road rage moments happen. I mean, they do. And you know what? Another thing too that he pointed out to me as well is a lot of accidents are human error. They are actually human error. It's down to the human either not paying enough attention, or ultimately not paying enough attention, or the human not paying enough mind to what's going on. And that's the thing. I think as a society we have to realise that there is a certain degree of human error, especially these days. You know. It's hilarious though that I just noted the fact that this. I mean, okay, I'm driving in. This is obviously an American game, but still, I just noted that bus driver just smashed into us. But that's my point. Like, people are going to realise that human error happens. People are going to realise that road rage moments happen, and you know what? Occasionally, getting pissed off. Well, it's like getting pissed off like that. It can be bad, especially if you know. I mean, you've got to consider how it affects the person in question, you know, whether it's not driving, whether it's getting too angry to drive properly, or whether it's getting so angry that you can't focus on what you drive, what's in front of you. That's another thing too. That's another thing too that most people don't realise, that is that anger is a very intense emotion for everybody. It generally is. It's a very, very intense emotion if you let it consume you. And I think that's the problem with the world. We don't seem to realise how much some emotions can consume you as a person and make you feel. It's not every emotion that is that way, but it's just some of them. And you know what? Try to be consistent at least with how you feel your emotions. Try to be. I mean, you know what? We're all human. We're all entitled to making mistakes, and we're all entitled to doing some stupid things. But, you know, minimising the stupid impact is always good. Actually parked that. Unbelievable. Anyway. But yeah, no, like, I don't know, like I said, it's it's bare minimal to people, but I mean, look, we all have our reasons for doing things, and we all have our reasons for feeling a particular way. And you know what? I've come to understand some people's reasonings behind stuff, and I've come to understand why people do certain things, why they react a certain way. And I guess I've understood that some, another thing I do is I sympathise with people. I sympathise with people's situations. I sympathise with a certain degree of things that happen to people. And you know what? Maybe that's just to my... It's okay to sympathise, but don't let yourself get too drawn into sympathising. It's not a bad thing. I mean, it's good. Sympathy isn't... It's human, and it's part of you. But, the problem with sympathising, I guess... Oops. Okay, a little too much less personal space, but still. That's the truth. The truth of the situation is that we as a society have become so attuned to desensitising ourselves to what's around us that we don't realise what's going on when we do step out into the real world sometimes. Like, we realise what's going on, but it makes us extra paranoid, it makes us extra assertive towards some things, and sometimes it can add anxiety to the mix as well, and it can do a lot of that stuff. And you know what? I've learned a lot about myself in the last few days, just self-examination, I guess, to see who I am as a person. And I don't hate myself, put it that way. Some things I think I can obviously improve upon. I can definitely improve upon certain things in my life, like, for example, say, let's see, there's definitely other things I can improve upon. I have a good attitude towards things in most cases. The funny thing I do find, though, is there's something that I found personally. People aren't as helpful as they used to be anymore. Like, I'm the type of guy, I'll open the door for, if it's a guy or a girl, I don't care if it's a guy or a girl, I'll open the door for someone, or hold the door for someone as I'm walking out, because that's just what I do. And that's typically what I do, because, I mean, yeah, it's partly part of being a gentleman, but it's also part of being human. I mean, why wouldn't you hold the door for somebody just to help them out? I mean, what the hell is wrong with that? It's stupid, really. I don't know. But still. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not that. Trust me on that. But to put it this way, I have had, what do you call it? I know I've had conditions for years. I know I've had schizophrenia. It's interesting that they say things about schizophrenia. But they say that schizophrenia, to some degree with certain people, makes them see the world in a different way. Okay, so my main line of conditions that I have is, okay, I've got OCD, which is, for certain things, or consistency of certain things, I have to have them a certain way, otherwise it just drives me mad. Schizophrenia, though, is different. Sometimes it can alter your perception of things. But not just that, aside from altering your perception of things, it can also make you feel things that aren't necessarily there sometimes, whether it's paranoia or whether it's other things that might happen to you in certain situations. Like if you look at any medical textbook, that's pretty much what it is. It's funny because, I don't think schizophrenia is a bad thing, and I don't think any of these mental issues are a bad thing. I think it's just that it depends on the person. I mean, it depends on who you talk to, you know what I mean? From the bottom to the top. I don't know, that's just something I think of anyway. Yeah, of course. But, just the world the way it is, it's crazy sometimes. You know what? I have figured a few things out in my own mind. With the way you feel sometimes when you have these conditions, it can make you feel pretty crap some days, and it can make you feel really good some other days. It's, you know, sometimes it's good though. Sometimes you sleep perfectly fine. Sometimes you don't sleep perfectly fine. But I mean, I don't know. I can be consistent. I can actually sleep when I need to. But it's just, I don't know. It's. I guess it's something that I've worked out for myself. But I don't know. Need the context. It's crazy. It's crazy. The world is definitely crazy. And you know what? Nothing wrong with craziness. A little craziness in your life can go a long way, making things better for you. I definitely say, though, that I hate some of the side effects of my medications. In any case, I think it was the guys pointing out, if you do take medications or anything of that nature, is to actually get a doctor's certificate first off before, well, which I'm going to anyway, that's not the problem, I plan to. Get myself a doctor's certificate pretty much, that's the plan, and then just in case there's any problems with me being pulled over just, you know, for that factor, you know, I don't know. I think certain medications can make you feel certain ways. I know with I'm on Prozac myself, and you know, obviously I smoke a little bit from time to time, but you know, that's not something I do on a constant basis. It's only in between doing other stuff that I like to do. But I like drinking, but here's the thing: I'm not constantly drinking. I don't have constantly have alcohol in my system. Most of the time, if I do drink, it's towards the weekend. I like drinking on weekends. Weekends are my big thing. I have shown a few situations and probably streams over time where it showed me actually drinking during the week, but that's something I try to avoid if I can, because to be honest, I'd rather be sensible about it and have an actual weekend, you know. The other thing too is, he said, you know, drink driving. That's another big factor, another big killer. You know what? I'm actually going to agree. I totally agree, and the reason I agree is because I've seen the amount of people who try to drive home drunk. I've seen somebody, and to be honest, my first thought would be catch an Uber. Like, what the hell? You don't catch an Uber? What the hell? How's that work? How do you not catch an Uber? Like, if you plan on getting hammered for a night, what is your first thought that goes through your head? Uber is my first thought that goes through my head. Is you catch an Uber. I mean, especially, I mean, there's no way you can drive in a drunken state, or a fucking, whether it's drunken or otherwise. There's no way you can drive in that state of mind. I mean, Jesus, you know, like, maybe you think you can, and there's a false sense of that, you know, but geez, no, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. That's the reason that when it comes to driving, you've got to definitely stay away from that stuff, you know, for a certain amount of time. I mean, or, you know, try not to have... get it for your system, basically. Detox a bit. But the other side of it too is, you know, the plus side is just don't. Just put it this way, don't. I've never condoned drink driving in my entire life. It's never a smart thing to do. My dad doesn't condone it either, because he's a good guy like that. He doesn't drink and drive. I think he's had, like, the most he's ever had in his entire life is like 1 beer. And he waited like 2 or 3 hours or something afterwards anyway. So, you know, that wasn't a problem. But my dad, no. If he's going out on a big night on the piss or something like that, his first reaction is to not, you know, or take a taxi or an Uber or something of that nature. Actually, that's my first reaction. That's just common sense. I mean, you don't be idiotic about it. When you drive in those states of mind, how do you know... Or how do you perceive? Well, that's another thing too. Like, how are you perceiving? Are you perceiving, you know? And the other thing too is, I think it was, this guy had a good point. He said, false optimism can be a bit of an issue. Where you think that something is perfectly fine to do, or, you know, it's a sense of false optimism. That's my point. You feel optimistic at the time, but it's a false pattern of that, you know? And that's the truth. But yeah. Yeah, now I'm going to steal a cop car. Oh, shit. It's still funny, though. But yeah, that's true. False optimism can definitely be a thing, and I don't know. This guy had a few interesting things to say, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty gnarly stuff, man. You got a fair few points there, man. You know, and he pointed out that you know, in the long run, yeah, it's interesting to me because he had some valid points. He had some valid points, and a few points definitely stuck in my head. I'm like, good job, man. I did like the way you did things. Admittedly, though, I didn't give him a full 10 for everything because there's a couple of things that I was a bit grey on, but not everything. I wasn't grey on everything. That's the thing. I understood it pretty well. But you know, maybe that's just me. Sometimes I'm a bit of a grey area guy sometimes. But the other side of it too is I try to be consistent with what I remember and not just remember what I perceive too. And you know, or just know what I remember generally because you know. Listening to people and understanding people has always been one of my good things. Most of the time. There's going to be moments where I misunderstand something. There's going to be some times where I need to catch up to some things, and eventually when I do catch up to them, it's like, oh shit, damn, real? Is this for real? What? Yeah, okay, I'm crashing into shit. But still, this is my point. It's not real. This isn't real life. This is a game. It's a game. It's not reality. Reality and games, two different things. Always have been and always will be. Even though I'm a gamer, I love games. Don't get me wrong, I love games. Games are fun. Games are fun. They're such fun. They're fun. They release other emotions in your system. You know, maybe emotions that you bury deep at certain times. You know, and just they clear your system out a bit. And you know what? That's the reason games, I think, are good for some things like that. And the truth is, you know, the other side of it too is, you know, I think something that ever happens to me in my life, like, well, okay, you pointed out too, alcohol is a depressant. I know sometimes that when and to be honest, I'm trying to actually going to try and limit myself on how much alcohol I actually consume, because I think sometimes it does affect my mood, and it definitely affects how I'm feeling. Definitely affects some degree of how I think of the world to some points. So I think I'm pretty sure that decreasing it and only drinking a certain amount will help me a lot with things in my life. And I'm willing to admit that. I'm willing to admit that I go overboard with it sometimes. You know what? I'm willing to admit that. I'm willing to admit that, and I'm willing to be honest about that, because I know there's plenty of times I've gone overboard with it in my life. And you know what? That's cool. I realise this now, and it's something that I have to work on. I think we all have things we need to work on, whether it's you know, the consistency in our life as a general rule, or maybe making things better for ourselves in life, organising ourselves better, getting things just right. You know, that's well, not just right. I mean, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but as long as it works, that's the main thing. As long as it works, and I think that's the main problem with the world. We perceive so much, and we absorb so much over our lifetime that sometimes it's a bit hard to make sense of it all, you know. But eventually we do. Eventually, you know. Oops. That's just weird. I'm just randomly driving here. It's like, I don't know. But this is a game. This is a game. You know, games, whether it's real life or whether it's games and stuff like that, I've found consistently in my mind that the difference between the two is always paramount. You know, there's always an abundant difference. I don't know, that's just, well, this is my point. That's the reason I get anxiety to a certain degree in life. That's when I have to interact with real people and have a lot more interaction, that's when my anxiety levels tend to flick up, and I'm like, oh, fuck, you know, like, really? I actually have to, you know, put some effort into interacting with people? And I know for me it can be either, it can either be feeling nervous about something or highly emotional about it, or it can be feeling like you don't want to achieve anything. I mean, that's the other side of it too. But you know what? There's a few good points that instructor had, and I was right on key with him. I'm thinking, okay, he's got a fair few good points, and I'm thinking, okay, he's got that's pretty valid. That's pretty valid points, and I'm you know what? I heard them all. I heard pretty much all of them. There's probably none of them that I really missed. I admit that. I listened. It's not as if I didn't freaking listen. That's the thing. People seem to think sometimes that I don't listen, but I do. I listen. This is my problem. I listen way too much. And a lot of the times I listen so much that I get sensory overload. That is another thing and another issue that I have is sensory overload. But I've had this. I've been this way my entire life. I've been this way my entire life. From when I was 18, going upwards onwards, is when I actually was diagnosed with schizophrenia. They actually diagnosed me back in Wollongong. I don't know. See, I've told this story a few times, but I don't know whether people have actually heard it before. But I was diagnosed back in Wollongong. Now, the way it started is that they put me on dexamphetamine because I get hyperactive, or I had hyperactivity issues. And dexamphetamine, it's nasty stuff. Especially, it's pretty much like a. Whew, Jesus, it's nasty because I'll tell you the reason it's nasty. I'll tell you the reason, ultimately, why it's nasty. It was the thing that caused some of the psychosis and the extra stuff happening in my life, and it definitely, I'm telling you, it definitely fucked with me. Definitely gave me a lot of issues. And after I'd taken it for a while, they pretty much took me off it. They took me straight off it, which was kind of stupid because they should have given me some withdrawal. I think they should have given me some withdrawal time, to be honest. I will be honest, they should have given me some withdrawal time, but pretty much, if you look and you read any articles, some of the articles online, it's pretty much, like, stupid, but I don't understand why they give it to kids with ADHD, because it's technically legal meth, technically speaking, it's a legalized version of it. Now, it's, you know, I was taking, how many tablets was I taking a day? Like, Jesus, about, oh, jeez. I was taking, how many freaking tablets was I taking? I was like, okay, hold on a second, I'll just stop this for a second and I'll actually just explain the story to people so people know. Basically, I was taking it for a while and it worked most of the time, but it had issues. I'd have to say that it caused a little more psychotic stuff than it should have. Basically, it was auditory hallucination stuff and things like that. And, you know, that's not as bad now. It's not as bad. It's not as much of an issue. Most of the time, I'm pretty good. And I cope pretty well. And I balance myself pretty well, too. This is my point. I'm very consistent with my balancing level and how I do things. And the truth is, they took it straight off me, and bang, I was like, I went from really on a high horse to just hit the fucking ground like a fucking ton of bricks, and it felt like shit. I felt like shit because I was putting on all these downers basically to get my system back into whack. Now I was never officially actually committed to anywhere. I've never been committed to an asylum because, you know, I'm smart enough to freaking well put it this way, I'm smart enough to realise that the world, you know, you've got to. You have to behave yourself. You have to play by the rules. It's how the world works. If you don't play by the rules, then you're an idiot. That's the first part of it. But the weird part I found with some of this stuff is, you know, it's sometimes it does make you question things and how you feel. Sometimes, you know, your emotional states of mind, things like that. You know. And anyway, I was on that for a while. So anyway, I was on that stuff for a while. They took me off it, put me on that, and then eventually they put me on antipsychotics, which those are kind of annoying. I hate those, but I still take them anyway. I mean, even if I have to take them, you know, I'm not doing too bad. I'm only on like 2 milligrams? 2 milligrams. 2 milligrams technically of my antidepressant. Sorry, antipsychotic. I'm sorry, I'm saying antidepressant for. And I'm on 40 milligrams of my antidepressant, which, yeah, sometimes my antidepressant's okay, but then, you know, those types of things can make you feel tired too. They can make you feel tired sometimes when you least expect to be tired. Other times they make you feel wide awake. It's sort of a mixture. So that's the thing about these types of well, they are drugs. I mean, they're pharmaceutically based and they're script based drugs, of course. But, you know, they can make you feel pretty much. Like, that's pretty much the best description I can say, because that's probably the most accurate one in most cases. But this is my point. I think that's the problem with people. Like, okay, some people know my story, but I've never fully given people the exact story of what my life. I mean, okay, I lived in Wollongong for like years and years. I went to Holy Spirit College, Bellambi. It was a lovely, lovely, lovely place to live. It was actually a great place to live, to be honest. I really enjoyed it thoroughly. I'd say I was a lower class citizen, if you wanted to give myself a definition. I was never really on the high class things. We were on pensions and stuff and things like that, and you know, that was always the case. But you know, it's got better as I've got older. Things have got better, obviously. But that's the thing, you know. The conclusion I've come to in the long run is that, you know, I've always been that way. I've always. What was I just want to check something? Go to that one. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's my point. I've always been on that lower class bracket, which, you know, is not a bad thing. Yeah, Dad! Yeah! Oh, hold on a second. I think my dad's calling me for dinner. Oh. What do you want? So yeah, sorry. I had to get something to eat because I was freaking hungry. It's always consistency of being hungry, people. I know my life is sometimes like, I don't know. I've always fashioned myself on my appetite. I do have a very hearty appetite. I will be honest. So yeah. I do have a very hearty appetite. I know that much. In my entire life, I've always had a very hearty appetite. It depends on what I eat. See, I'm a big meat eater though too. That's another thing I'm finding too. Like, most people won't eat meat, or if they do eat meat, they're very, very small quantities. I'm a very protein orientated person. I always have been. A little too much sometimes, I admit that. It's probably the reason I haven't packed on extra weight sometimes. But I guess if I sort of equalise it with a little bit more exercise, I probably would find I'd feel a lot better for it, to be truthful. That'll work. It's such a mixture of things for me though. Whether it's the food in my life or whether it's other things that I eat. I've always been one of these people who, you know, I've always been one of those people who tends to, I go a little too, I don't know, I admit sometimes I go a little overboard with some things in my life. Like medications and stuff like that, most of the time I'm pretty consistent with those. I try to be anyway. But some of my medications, as I said, like especially if they're pharmaceutically based medications, they tend to bother me. They tend to be a bit of an issue because of how they affect my body. Actually, they tend to affect my body worse, and that's the truth. I still take them, honestly, but there's certain situations I've come to a conclusion that they're always going to have some type of effect on me, or, you know, like negative effect. That's just how they are. But the other side of it too is I have to take them. I mean, they do keep a certain degree of balance in some places. Not always, but sometimes. And like, I don't know, it's not every single medication that I take though that affects me badly. It's only some medications. Because I had joint pain for a while, which is, I think it's just rheumatoid. It might be rheumatoid arthritis. I've never actually had it checked, to be honest. But I used to get joint pains and stuff, and some of the reason that I might take a painkiller or something like that, or drink a little bit, is because of that pain, which is sort of a consistent aches in my arms and things like that and stuff like that. So it's not always the case though. I mean, most of the time I'm pretty smart about how I do things anyway. Heartburn too can be a bit of an issue, but I'll be honest. I found my coping mechanisms, not just my coping mechanisms, but I found things that work for me. There's definitely some medications that I wouldn't recommend, especially with the amount of stuff that they do to you. And the other side of it too is there's some older medication. I mean, I probably could update my antipsychotics maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit, maybe to something a little bit better. But I wouldn't want a very heavy dose of it. That's my point. I like my clarity, and I'd have to say that with my current regime of medications, I have pretty good clarity most of the time. And that's the thing I like about my current regime of medications. I have clarity. At least I have clarity. I found when I tried a couple of different medications years ago that the problem was they wouldn't give me any clarity. They make me feel like I was completely mentally disabled, like really off the fucking charts bad, like really, really, really bad. And that was probably the most inconsistently fucked up issue that I found. I wake up some days with my antipsychotic medications feeling like I'm completely fucking mentally disabled, which I'm not. That's my point. I mean, I have some issues, I admit. I have like slight dyslexia. I know this. It's very slight. But I've managed to find coping mechanisms for every damn thing that I have, including my dyslexia, including my schizophrenia, including everything in my life. I've managed to find coping mechanisms for every damn thing that I have and everything that is pretty much happening to me in my life. And you know what? I can say this, and my dad actually said he admired the fact that I can spell a lot better than he can. My dad's always been one of these people. He's not a very good speller. So, as you can see, it all runs in the family. It's all DNA based. But that's my point, or the point I'm trying to make anyway. See, this is the crazy stuff. I know what goes on in my family, and I know not just what goes on in my family, but I know what is happening in my family. I've always been this way. There's no other way that I could be. I mean, I could be slightly different maybe, but most of the time, I love it when that happens. Alright, hold on a second. There we go, that's better. I'm gonna log into the damn thing. Okay, but anyway, yeah, I mean, that's aside from the point anyway. I just wanted to point out to people that, well, see, I've always prided myself on being honest, but I'm not always honest to people about me having issues, because some people view other people who don't seem on a normal level as, they either view them as weird or they have some type of stigma attached. A person gets a stigma attached to them when it comes to them having issues, and that's the problem. Like, that's the actual issue, I find. And that stigma was attached to me for a while, you know, like just by society and as a general rule. But anybody who's ever known me, or anybody who's ever got computers and stuff repaired by me and other people, things of that nature, would know how brilliant I can be at times. Not just that, but considering how screwed up my head can be some days, I do pretty damn well, you know. And that's the thing. I do damn well because of the fact that I have so much focus. It's a focus thing with me. It's a focus thing. But, you know, I don't know. I think it's just, there's a lot of other things that have happened in my life. You know, my mum had a lot of crap she had to go through when she was younger. And, there's a few things that there's personal stuff that I wouldn't necessarily mention on, like, Twitch or YouTube or something like that. to be honest, because that type of stuff is just something I... Well, sometimes... Actually, that's not entirely true. I have mentioned it. Some of it, but I haven't mentioned it all the time. So, my mum was abused when she was a kid, and, let's just say it affected me badly because she'd only really talked to me about it. That's the thing. Yeah, a lot of the time she'd only really talk to me about it. So maybe it did psychologically affect me in some ways. I know that's probably true. But you know what? I will say this. I will definitely say this to be true. I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue at all with giving myself out to people. But the other thing too is, you know, when it comes to business, you got to have a certain degree of business ethic, or not ethic, but business professionalism. So sometimes revealing personal things on a public forum like YouTube or something like that can be a little not negative, not totally negative. I mean, I've revealed some things. There's some things that I keep to myself because I think that's just stuff that would stay between me and my family. There's some things that I think could be, you know, ultimately adjusted, I guess. So, you know, but I mean, that's the thing. In most cases, I've concluded that some of this stuff, it's built my character. It's built me up as a person. It's built me it's built me from the inside out, you know, and to who I am today. And if I didn't have half the experiences that I had, I wouldn't be me. That's the truth. I don't know, just something to think. It's food for thought, anyway. You know, it's just food for thought. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's okay, it's not too bad. It's just... I feel like eating. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. I normally have a ravenous appetite. That normally happens though. I normally have a pretty ravenous appetite. Saying that, it comes and goes a bit, but I guess it depends on how much sleep I've had too, if I've got a ravenous appetite or not. If I'm nervous, that's another thing. If I'm nervous about something or I feel nervous about something, what'll normally end up happening is I'll stop eating for a while. That definitely happens for me. I know, it's something that consistently happens. If I'm nervous about something or if I feel nervous about something, and for me, nerves can take a fair while to go away. It can take a fair amount of time, actually. I'm surprised half the time. It just makes me scratch my head in amazement, really. The amount of times my nerves have given up the ghost and sort of annoyed the shit out of me, to be honest. Here's the thing. You know, medications and stuff only help you so far. They can only help you so much. Sometimes it's a self-analyzation process that helps you better and actually puts things into more perspective. You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't know though, you know. At least I've always been willing to admit that I have issues and I know I have them. And you know what? These issues are not major, that's the thing. If they were major, it'd be much worse, but they're not major issues, they're just, you know, they come and go, it just depends on us. I don't know, maybe it's just how I think of it. But I don't know. I have no idea. No, I do. I have a pretty good idea. And yeah, no, it's another thing too. You know, for somebody who gets in front of a camera like myself. Now, it's different. You know, it's different being out. Okay, the difference between being out in public and the difference between being in front of a computer. In front of a computer, you don't feel like you're performing to an audience. You feel like you're performing to yourself to some degree, and that's something that I've noticed, especially with that. And it seems to be something very consistent that I've noticed anyway. Now, it's not every single thing, of course. You know, I mean, look, put it this way. The thing, I don't know. Yeah, that's what it is. I reckon that's totally true, though. I reckon that's totally true. crazy though. I don't know. But you know what? You know what? Sometimes in life, you're not always going to get what you want, and that's the truth. You never, you know, sometimes you're not consistently going to get what you want. Sometimes you're not going to get everything you need in life, and you know, sometimes things are going to fall apart. The key is to get the fuck back up afterwards when it knocks you down. And I think that's definitely something that I've been preaching to myself, but I don't think I've actually got it through my head. Some days, not all days, just some days. And it's definitely something that does happen to me from time to time, where that happens in some cases. You know what? I don't judge though. I try not to judge others if I can help it. But there's a lot of judgmental people out there, so you know. I don't know. I've come to the conclusion I really just don't care anymore. I really could give a flying fuck. I could honestly give a flying fuck. That's the truth. Like, that's just the point. No. It's the key is, you know, sometimes, well, not just a flying fuck, but you're like, you know, sometimes you have to take into consideration that some people have their own biased stuff happening in their life, and they might be just biased against your opinion at the time. So you've got to take that into consideration. And the other thing too is, it's not just that. You know people. Okay, whether it's how people do things, or whether it's how people do stuff. Or, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's just my thought about the whole thing. It's just crazy though. Yeah, it is crazy. Crazy and mixed up though at times. Something you noticed though. Oh no, it's crazy. It's crazy. Look, it's crazy. But no, basically, technically, that's correct. Yeah, I have actually. I mean, I was on that dexamphetamine for a while. They took me off that, then they put me on. Put me on this Catapress stuff, which was really, really freaking annoying. Yeah, always inconsistencies. But I don't know. I get hay fever too. That fucking annoys the living shit out of me. I don't know what it is about. I don't know. Whether it's those conditions or other things. I mean, I don't know. I've always been one of those slightly odd people. I know I'm an odd person. This is my point. I've always known how odd I am, and you know what? I live with it. I live with it. I function with it. I get out of bed every day in most cases. There might be the occasional moment where I don't get out of bed, but still. It's always that way though, isn't it? It's always that way. Hold on a second. Let me just see if I can get this Overwatch game to work again, because it was kind of pissing me off, because I couldn't understand what the fuck it was doing. Alright, okay. Hello. 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 Alright. I don't know, I do pretty well though. Could be worse. Oops. Didn't mean to click that. Damn your eyes, chicken thighs. Seriously? There we go. That's not what I meant to do. What? Did that change again? Alright, never mind. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Never mind. It's fine. It's fucking annoying. Alright. Anyway. Oh. Shit. Oh. Shit. See if this lags now. Is it gonna lag? Oh no, it's not lagging. That's good. Fuck me sideways. You know, there's just those days where you think the universe is having a joke with you. I honestly think the universe has a sense of humour. Anybody agree with me on this? Anybody? No? Oh, damn it. Sometimes you gotta have a sense of humour about shit. Otherwise, shit gets boring very fast. Very, very fast. It's like I don't have a sociopathic personality. Well, actually, it's been proven schizophrenics have slightly sociopathic and psychopathic tendencies, but it doesn't necessarily... Look, people seem to think or paint people in that category as bad. I don't consider them bad. It depends on the person, the people you talk to, and it depends on the consistency of that person's mind in the first place. There's plenty of people who I would say that you would consider in those tendency ranges, and they've actually been quite helpful to society, in the sense of how they treat society. You know, so, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think it's just the way, it's the way the world perceives them, you know? Are they bad? Are they good? It's sort of, that's the problem. See, we as human beings always put a label on everything. You know, it's always that way, isn't it? Put a label on everything, and we try to label everything with either a negative intent or a positive intent. When sometimes maybe perhaps something has a sort of a combination of the two intents combined. You know, I mean, well, for example, I'll give you a good example. If you look at any religious texts, including the Bible and things of that nature, it's always been proven that God, you know, supposed God anyway. I mean, okay, I wouldn't call. I don't want to call myself. I'd call myself. I believe there's a balance in the universe. I don't want to necessarily call it God though. I don't want to call it God. I'm not going to call it that. I'm going to call it the universe. And the universe, in context, right? I mean, even though you can call it God if you want to. I mean, that's perfectly fine by me. That's perfectly reasonable by me, actually, to be honest. I honestly believe that, you know, if there is a universal being, as it were, around, that they'd probably have a pretty twisted sense of humour with the amount of crap that's been going on in the world lately. You know what I mean? Not just that, they'd probably be a little bit jaded towards things. Yeah, definitely. They'd probably be a bit jaded, and they might feel a bit let down because, you know, maybe there's a certain degree of people who've lost their faith, you know. Definitely. Definitely. You know what? I'm going to say definitely. There's going to be a few people like that. So, you know what? That's true. It's easy to lose your faith, though. I admit I lost my faith for a while. In the universe, that is. I lost my faith. I did. I lost it. I completely fucking lost it, and I just... I couldn't get it back. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find myself, and that's the thing. When you lose it, it's easy to see all the negatives, though. I admit that. When you lose it, It's easy to see so many. Actually, it's easy to see plenty of negatives. That's the problem. You know, it makes you feel. It makes you feel like you haven't. Yeah, you know, it makes you feel like you're not complete anymore, to some degree, I guess. Not seeing the universe, not seeing the world. Yeah, yeah. Whoa. And life is a challenge. That's the thing, though. I think losing that faith can be the thing that unhinges some people to some degree. I don't know. It depends on the person, I guess. You know, everybody takes things from a different perspective. I've always tried to go from science, but I'm a big believer in karma. I'm a big believer in the universe giving back to you in some form or another. And that's not a bad thing, you know. Like, it's not a bad thing to have things given back to you either. Ooh, okay, that didn't even work properly. There's still a little bit of lag though. I gotta get this lag button to sync this damn lag. What is wrong with this lag? It's annoying. Oh, you know what? It happens, unfortunately. That's something I've concluded. But, though I think meditation will generally, because I did start doing some meditation years ago, but I never really got into it much, so maybe I need that. Maybe I need self-examination time, as it were. You know, maybe I just need time to examine myself a little more and see myself a little better, I guess. That's probably what it is. You know, it's probably just reflection time, and you know, there's all different ways of doing that, of course, but you know, each to their own in which way they choose to do that, of course. But, you know, I've concluded, though, I might actually do that too. I did choose Royal Cross, didn't I? Oh, sorry, we'll pick a soldier. I'll be a soldier, there we go. To the hell of it. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't know, it's just weird, like, if the universe, right, in itself, okay, the universe, as a whole, right, everything that is in the cosmos that exists today, we know for a fact that, well, we sort of know for a fact. It's more of a theory. It's all based on scientific theory. But these theories are not bad theories. They're not really, really bad ones. But the other side of it too is some people will turn around and say, oh, well, you know, you're challenging God by supposed, you know, the universe, or challenging universe or God by going against it with science. I don't necessarily believe that. I believe that you can intertwine science and religion to both be a betterment for the human race, if that makes any sense to anybody at all. But yeah, I think it can be done. I don't think it's impossible. I think it's just, I died. Damn it. Totally died. Fucking this lag. What is this lag? This is fucking shitting me. What the fuck? Are you fucking serious? The fuck is this bullshit? This lag is fucking annoying. For fuck's sake, will you just fucking... Fuck you! Seriously, what? Ah, fucking lag. Where the fuck is this lag? Please explain this to me. Where the fuck is this lag coming from? I really want to fucking know. It's ridiculous. This is like, this is the point where I'm getting this shit. It's like, fuck you! Seriously, I know a joke's a joke, but fuck me, sucked and sideways. Fuck. Jesus. Just no lag, please. That'd be nice. Just, you know. Oh, fuck. It's not very... You know what? I've been calm lately, so it's actually pretty good. Anger management. What? It's been pretty good though. It's alright. Oh my god, this lag. Why is it lagging? Fuck's sake! Ah, oh, damn your eyes. Oh, how I test thee. Jesus fucking Christ. That's better. Now I feel better. Yeah, that's perfect. That'll work. And my legs. That's funny. They all just jumped off there and committed suicide. That's hilarious. It's kind of sad too, but still. Fuck. Seems I'm being tested. It's always the way, isn't it? It's always a big fucking test with everybody. Can't that be annoying sometimes? I know it is for me. I'm entitled to get angry. I think I'm allowed to get angry from time to time. Why can't I get pissed off from time to time? I think I'm allowed to. Fuck me sideways. I think I'm allowed to. Let me get pissed off. Sometimes it's good to let that inner fucking maniac out. Bloody inner maniac. I know I've got it. Just only let it out to play sometimes, for fuck's sake. I have a certain degree of self-control these days. Most of the time, anyway. Oh, come on. Damn your eyes. Damn your eyes! Chicken thighs! Fuck you! Oh. Oops. What the fuck? Damn it! Why? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you very much. Fuckity fuck, fuck, fuck through. Jesus, motherfucking tuck-tucking tit-shitty Christ. Fuck, really? What the fuck? Consistency. Fuck, 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 fuck. No, 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 no. What the fuck? Damn your eyes. Goddamn son of a fucking asshole. Damn it. That's what you wanted. Okay. Why didn't you tell me that? Fuck! Fuck off! Like, seriously, what the fuck is that bullshit? That doesn't make fucking sense. What the... Fuck you. Come on. Son of a fucking bastard. Fuck. I'm still pretty controlled though. So it's been something like that. It's all about patience. It's a virtue. Fuck. God damn it. Really? I'm not even getting that angry though. Balanced objective failed. What the hell happened there? Oh, I'm just going to exit the desktop for now. fucking annoying. Yeah, I know. I don't know why the fuck it's lagging. I'm thinking I need to reinstall my video drivers. Probably. Actually, I have no doubt of that, actually. Probably just need to reinstall my video drivers myself. I know, it's laggy as fuck, isn't it? It's annoying the fucking living shit out of me. That's the reason I got the shits before. Fucking hell. Why are you being such an asshole today? Bitch, or the context. I don't fucking know. Anyway, let me go. Where am I? Yeah, it's the laggiest bitch. I know that. I'm well aware of it. Problem is, maybe I could get. It shouldn't be laggy though. Maybe it's because I got the. Oh, you know what? I might just close that one. Maybe that's because I got those two streams open. Let me close that. Yeah, let's try that. Let me close a couple of other windows too while I'm here. Close. I only want to open the main ones, so let me just close this stuff. Might be explain it. Okay. I'm just going to close this. Okay. Yeah, no, it's alright. I can see it's laggy. That's fine. I can see it's laggy. I'm just trying to rectify the situation if I can. It is very laggy indeed, is it not? I agree with you. Let's see. Maybe send me something. Why? Why are you sending me shit now? What the hell? www.asshole.com. Sometimes maybe. What the hell? So maybe it's it could be my internet, maybe. My computer's lagging, what the fuck? It's laggy as fuck though, it's annoying to live. It is annoying the living crap out of me, like why it's so laggy at the moment. So I can't for the life of me work out why. There's no reason it should be that laggy. I'm thinking though, to be honest, I think it's more to do with fucking my video card. Because I'm running my 2770s and SLI. And to be honest, they're getting old. I know they're getting old, I'm well aware of how old they are. But fuck, I need to update my video card at some fucking point. This must be, I don't know, it's fucking stupid. Let's see. Is there anything I can change in these settings that will make it a little more smoother? Let me see here. I'll try. Maybe I can adjust the settings. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me just have a look. Fucking stupid bastard. Alright. So we got the two monitors plugged in. That's fine. Let me just have a look. Create. Ah, fuck you. Fuck you, computer. Fuck you. Fuck you. A little glitchy. Come on. Okay, so I'm going to customize. Create custom resolution. Set. I haven't really set a clock to play this, so that's why. Too high, a little bit lower. There we go. Test. Yeah. Now I just need to switch over to that. See if that makes a difference. It might make a difference. I'm dreaming my life away. It's funny though. I just watched the stream. I was just watching a stream then, but it's alright. Okay. Oh, I closed that window anyway now. Come on. Damn your eyes. Thank you. Oh. Well, that's fucking hard. There we go. Alright. So that should be alright now. We'll see what that does. Alright. There we go. Okay. That's better. Okay. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. It could be my... I don't think it's my monitor though. Because, there's nothing wrong with my monitor. There we go. That's a bit more responsive. Perfection. Alright, now we've got a little bit more consistency in that. Okay, so I've changed that to the right hertz, so that should be alright. Let me try running this again and see what happens. Fucking hell, that was like fucking frustrating. It was like laggy as fuck. I'm like, what the hell? Why is this lagging like a motherfucking bastard? Absolute fucking prick. Damn your eyes, man. Oh, well, you know what? Sometimes we get angry. It was okay, though. I didn't get that angry. It's pretty controlled, so... Pretty good at controlling it most of the time. I don't know, I mean, I wasn't that overly angry about it. I mean, I was just more annoyed with all the lag. There's probably things in my life that I've got angrier about, but I don't know, I've just ended up... I'll be honest, I've probably ended up doing some stuff in my life out of anger, and that's definitely been a negative. I definitely would say that's true. It's not everything that I've done out of anger, but some things definitely. So you know what? I think from now on I'm going to try and curve that a bit if I can. Just, you know, there's nothing wrong with me getting angry, but, you know... Why is that lagging? It's still lagging, is it? Or is it stopped? Is it stopped or was it doing? Yeah. See. Okay, there we go. Why? Okay, no, that's a little bit better. I should get myself, I don't know, I'm not really worried about my monitor, it's more video cards I think is the issue. Or video card, I don't know, see I'm tossing up here. What would people personally go for? I'd go for fucking one video card instead of 2 video cards in SLI. Because I have noticed there's a lot of glitches that pertain to it, to be honest. There we fucking go. That's more like it. See, now we've got consistency. That's perfect. It's not lagging like it was before. You know, I think we're all entitled. It's only human to get angry from time to time and get the shits with something. That's what I've learned. I know I can be a bit angry sometimes, I admit that. But I'm not angry all the time, that's the thing. I'm only angry with some things in my life, though. Oh, wiped out. There we go, perfect. But you gotta realise sometimes shit turns to shit. I don't know. That was the first angry reaction I've had in a while, to be honest. So, it's actually the first angry reaction I've had for a long, long fucking time. It's not a bad thing. Oh, well, why not? I can't select that, okay, never mind. It's interesting, though. I think people can be angry, though. I think it's, you know, everybody's entitled to get angry for a fucking time. But see, my problem is when I get angry, I feel like an asshole afterwards. I feel like I feel really bad because I got angry at someone. And then I normally end up apologising later and just saying, oh, look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be as angry as I was at the time. It was just raw stuff that I had going on in my head. And, you know. Other thing I admit to, I say some things and I normally say them out of anger, and it's something I end up regretting. You know what? Let me be honest about myself. I have done that a few times. I've said things out of anger and I didn't necessarily mean them. It was just me clearing my head. And you know what? I want to apologise to some of those people because maybe I did, you know, get at them, and maybe I just, you know, maybe I was an asshole. I admit that. And there's definitely moments where I've been an asshole. It's not as if I'm an asshole all the time, but I definitely have those moments. If I can just get somebody to love me for who that asshole is, then, you know, I'm doing good. I'm not an asshole all the time, though. That's the thing. Not all the time, and that's the thing. I don't... No, I wouldn't say I'm an asshole all the time. I'm weird, definitely. Oh, God, that's laggy. What the hell? Okay, so I'm going to exit out of that for a second. It's laggy as fuck. I just don't understand why. It's kind of weird. Okay, so hold on a second. It's kind of strange. Okay. Weird stuff. I set that rate high though. It's kind of curious. You know what? I want to admit I've done some couple of stupid things. It's probably when I've had a couple of drinks. Like, no, actually, not more than a couple of drinks. Just like probably a freaking tank load of drinks before I end up doing something stupid because I don't consider the consequences of my actions at the time. And that's definitely happened. But you know what? The other side of it too is there was always blame on the other side as well. So I mean, it wasn't just one person. It wasn't just my blame. It wasn't just me to blame. So you know, what? It's confessional time. What? Confess my sins. I feel like that sometimes. You know what? I think everybody has dark moments, dark shit that they say, dark stuff that comes out, you know, and sometimes it's human. Don't feel bad for it. Or at least try not to feel bad for it anyway. Okay. Right. Random chat. It's giving me specials. Yeah, I always get people to give me that random stuff. Like, not random stuff, but random, what do you call it? Random, freaking advice and things like that, so yeah. I'm human. Well, sometimes I'm a little more than human, I guess. I feel like it some days. So that's not working, so let me try maybe... I probably should have shared this stream out, shouldn't I? Oh my god, I should have shared this stream out. That's special. I should have shared the damn stream out. I knew this was going to happen. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's all good. Evening stream all. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm okay. Not bad. I'm actually pretty good. Buzzed. Let me share that out to Twitter. It's perfect. Right. I don't know, it's just one of those days, I guess, you know, you want consistency in your life, you want consistency with everything, but perfectionism, that's probably my issue. That's probably what it is. That's the thing that's going through my head most of the time. Oh, so good. You know what? Life is life. Left, right, left. I don't know what I've been told. Oh. Could have something like that. Weird. Sometimes I'm consistently hungry. I'm ravenous. See, it's weird though. I always know for me, with food, it's always connected to my hormone system in some way. Some sort of weird anyway, but... Pretty good though. I'll probably have the rest of those later. I'm just going to put this away so I can eat it for later. That's what typically happens though. I'll come back and I'll eat it later. I'll have a couple of drinks and, or like maybe like a glass of wine or something, and then it'll make me feel more hungry. I know it's weird. No, he's a superhero. Oh, well, no, not a superhero. Max Payne. He's, just talking to my dad for a second, seeing how he's doing. Oh my god! Consistency. Right, I'm back. Huh, unbelievable. I didn't realize that. There's always an inconsistency about the number of viewers that I have too. It's always kind of interesting though. 1 second it'll say this, then it'll say that. I mean, I understand the internet updates and servers update and everything else. That's cool. I get that. That's fine. But it's like, it's just the inconsistent numbers are just... something that bugs the hell out of me. Like, what the hell? Why is there so... You know, what's this number? What's that number? All over the bloody place. Definitely something that gets annoying over time, but it's not the worst thing. It's always the way though. Allergies! Allergies! Mm. I have no idea. I have some idea. Oh man, I don't know. It's crazy though. Oh. Well, I mean, I'm not feeling too bad. I don't know. It's mood. It's mood, man. It's mood. Mood lighting, as it were. I try to be consistent mood though. Come on, alright. Let's cheer this stream up a bit. I'll fucking stick my fucking clown hat on and be a fucking clown, mate. Go for the freaking clown thing. Those would be perfect. It's like, why the fuck you wearing a clown wig, bitch? I have no idea. It just might work. I don't know. Oh, God. So, I'm honestly seeing how well this beard's going to grow in. I've got a few grey hairs in between. It's hilarious. I just noticed I have a few grey hairs. Light grey hairs, whatever. Fucking amazing, like it's unbelievable. I think we'll, I don't know. Ever feel like, I don't know whether some people feel this, but ever feel like your soul is older than your own body? I definitely have those days myself. It's really weird. They're kind of trippy sometimes, I guess. Oh, it's all about love. It's all about love. At least it tries to be, anyway. Okay, so I don't know why the hell... This is kind of annoying me, because I can't understand for the life of me what the hell is going on with that damn lag on the computer, but I'm pretty sure I know what it might be. It's a video card issue, so I'm going to try and pick up another video card. I don't know, I've never tried disabling, I want to test something. I just want to test something, I'm curious. And you know, the problem is I don't know whether it'll let me do it or not, because I think because I've got my streaming software open. See, I have noticed, and this is just something I've noticed, with having SLI enabled. See, hold on a second. Let me switch. That's what I'll do. You know what I'll try and do? Because I don't know what it is. This is something I've just noticed with specifically with having SLI. Sometimes the freaking configuration gets a real nut on about fucking things. It's really fucking crappy about it. Shit, that's the problem. Okay, so hold on a second. So what I want to do, go up to here. I want to select that. Select the second card. Dedicate that to PhysX. Apply. And now is it gonna? It's probably going to say to me, no, you can't do this. I bet you anyway that's actually what's going to exactly this. Well, it might not say, it just depends. And it crashed. Fuck you! Ah, you fucking asshole. Did it work? Probably didn't work. Did it work? Did it work? I don't know, I may have to actually reboot my system. Freaking drivers. See, this is my point. This is the issues that I've been having with the NVIDIA drivers. Just the consistency of how much they work. Okay, so this is basically what happens. This is what happens, pretty much. It comes up on my... Oh, shit, it collapsed. Fuck. Let me just show you. Ah! Fuck. Okay. So, say for example, I go into my NVIDIA control panel and I want to change the settings over, basically. So what I normally would do, set that to PhysX, dedicate it directly to it, apply. Now, when I click that, obviously, I'll tell you what exactly happens. That's probably going to crash in a moment. Just give me a second. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with these NVIDIA drivers. They give me the fucking shits half the time. See, this is the reason that I do get cranky sometimes, like really pissed off, because I've had to deal with this for how many months now? 7, 8, oh, jeez, probably longer than that. I've been dealing with this problem for months now, and it's because every time that NVIDIA releases a new driver update, there is always a fucking problem. Now, yes, it is to do with my cards, I think, a little bit, but it's more to do with obsolescence. They're just trying to make my cards obsolete. But the other side of it too is, I want a new card. I just can't afford it right now. That's the only problem. At some point, I will be able to afford it, though. Well, mind you, somebody did say something about some donation. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, it's not a problem. Whatever. It's reacting though. Sorry, I'm just having a look at this. Interesting. That's a fair point. Oh, fucking drivers though are an absolute pain in the arse. Somebody sent me a friend request. Okay, didn't even know. Somebody wants to add me. Oh, that's good. Okay. Oh, that should be right. See, that's the problem. I know... See, this is some of the weird-ass stuff that I get happening on my computer occasionally. It's just frustrating. Frustrating as all hell. Oh, doesn't matter. Because I just want to turn... Maybe I should just turn it off completely. No, it probably won't let me do that. See, this is my point. It's got that there. It's telling... Okay, then it crashed. Yeah, it's going to crash. See? Technical hitches, people. Technical hitches. Jesus fucking Christ. How the fuck does that work? But I'm not fucking giving up. No fucking way I'm giving up. Bullshit. I refuse to be fucking beat down just because I'm having a bad situation. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. I need to be strong. I need to be fucking tough. I need to do what I need to fucking do to get fucking forward. That's the thing. I need to fucking push myself forward. So you know what? I'm gonna log out of this computer. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna reset everything, or some of the settings anyway. I'm just gonna reset that setting on the NVIDIA control panel and see if I can fix that. So I'm gonna reboot my computer and I will be right back.